This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Monday morning to you. This is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin on this Monday, post-championship Sunday, 2 weeks, or at least 13 days prior to Super Bowl 60.
Hey, stop counting already. Start the clock. Let's go.
13 days. Here we go.
Hey, at least the Denver Broncos aren't involved.
Hey, congratulations to the Patriots. Congratulations to the Seahawks. Congratulations if you had them yesterday. Congratulations if you had futures on them. Congratulations if you're fans of both of those franchises. As the Seahawks and Patriots meet in the Super Bowl 11 years after the Malcolm Butler interception Super Bowl. I'm sure we'll see that highlight a million times the next 13 days. One of the great Super Bowls ever, by the way.
You know what? I saw it this morning, actually, and I don't know why, but it was the first time I've seen it in a while, and I had this thought right away. I was like, this play seems to make a lot more sense now that we know more about Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, 10 years later, 11 years later, whatever it is. Yeah, not running the ball. Not running the ball.
I stood to make a pretty penny. Had the Seahawks win that game.
Me too.
And when that happened, I immediately went in instinctive catcher's crouch at Dr. Bob's Super Bowl party, just trying to process what we had just seen. But the look ahead on this matchup was what? Seahawks minus 3.5, I believe.
Yep.
And what have we said? We got all the way to 5.5 in some spots. Now, what is it, 5 consensus, 4.5, somewhere in that pocket, depending on where you're looking?
Yeah, 4.5 to 5. I was tracking openers yesterday, so DraftKings reopened 3.5. We had Westgate 4.5, or 4, and Circa here in town 5.5 right on open.
Yeah.
And then kind of everything's gotten sandwiched down. So, yeah, everywhere's 4.5 or 5 right
You make a bet yet?
No, I did not. Well, actually, I did make a bet. I did not bet side or total. I bet over on Drake May's rushing yards, which I was listening to Sharp Money podcast. Shout out to Patrick Maher and Mike Somich on my way in. Mike said it. I think I've been betting it too. This Drake May rushing yardage over, I have a feeling is going to be a top 3, top 5 most bet on prop before it closes. So you're going to hear it a lot on this network. If you're betting props heading into Super Bowl, overs early, unders late, right? So I'm trying to jump on that. I jumped on a 33.5 over. I'll be on the Seahawks of some kind, Gil. They got the NFC ticket cash home for me. I will be on the Seattle Seahawks somehow, but I don't know right now.
I did something super squarish yesterday. I bought it to 4 when it was 4.5.
There you go.
I want the Seahawks minus 4. Like, let me have that, and we'll decide anything else in the next 13 days.
Well, came into play.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I thought Drake May's running was the difference in the game yesterday.
Oh, it was huge. It was huge.
Shall we go through that one first?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Let's do it. For those who missed it, New England at Denver. I'm sure you didn't, but let's go through it guessing line style. After Denver's first drive with Jared Stidham, where he got rid of it just in time on third down, had disaster written all over it with Elijah Ponder in pursuit of him. And then New England, from their own 8 3-and-out, where it looked like Talanoa Hufanga was going to pick off Drake May. Denver gets the ball. They go 5 plays, 59 yards in just 1 minute and 41 seconds. Third play, 3rd and 10 at their own 41. Stidham deep to Mims Jr. for 52 to the New England 7. 2 plays later, Stidham to Sutton from 6 out. 7-0 Broncos. Stidham strutting off the field. The Broncos would never score again. It's just
wild.
Less than 5 minutes in, 7-0 Broncos. Then, a little later on, 2 more, not the next possession for the Broncos, but the one after that, from their own 43, 5th play, 3rd and 3 at the New England 40. Stidham, great out pass to little Jordan Humphrey for 5. 6 plays later, after a Stidham 5-yard gain, 4th and 1 at the New England 14. Weather's nice-ish at this point. They eschew the field goal. Would have been about a 32-yarder. Stidham, under pressure, incomplete intended for Harvey, never had a chance.
No.
In the moment. Now, I know a lot of people are killing Sean Payton for this.
Yeah,
no one dislikes Sean Payton more than I do. But was it really that ridiculous of a play call?
You and I have not discussed this at all. We did not text about it yesterday.
No, we have not discussed it.
I feel like I'm on a bit of an island of I have no problem with it.
I didn't have any problem with it at all at the time.
It's easy to say now.
Of course
right?
it is.
It's easy to say after you saw what the weather did in the second half that, yeah, you would probably want points there with Jarrett Stidham. I had no problem with it in the moment.
We debated after the game, or in the fourth quarter, we debated, did they know the weather was coming? If so, was Sean Payton a genius for being on that side of the field or facing that side of the field the fourth quarter? And then the answer was, if he said yes after the game, he's lying, because then he would have kicked the field goal in this situation early in the game to go up 2 scores. So 7-0 it remains at that point. At this point in the game, Denver was outgaining New England 125-12 and had 7 first downs as compared to New England's 1 first down. Next time Denver has the ball, 3rd and 4 at their own 33, Stidham, who had been really flirting with disaster all game with this weird east-west, I'm going to throw it, I'm not going to throw it, oh my God, what's going to happen sort of thing. He's sacked by Christian Ellis. Ball goes out of his hands. It's initially ruled intentional grounding, but on review, it's called a backwards pass. The whistle blew, though, so instead of a New England scoop and score, it's a fumble recovery by Ponder at the Denver 12. Now, do we have a problem with this play? Now, I was Denver plus the points. I got my money, so I'm being objective here, right? It doesn't matter to my betting result. If it's ruled a backwards pass, which it was, the New England defender hit the ball. I'm not really sure how they ended up with what they ended up with there.
Oh, yeah, me neither. And that's the...
You didn't rule it a fumble. If you ruled it you said backwards pass. As long as it's a pass, that feels like it was deflected from a forward motion then, backwards.
I didn't really get it either.
I didn't really get it how they reversed it, right? From the initial call of intentional grounding. Either way, it's a fumble recovery by Ponder at the Denver 12. 2 plays, 17 yards. May in from 6. We are tied at 7 with 2:10 left, just like that.
And the football gods sorted it out, right? So I don't even care that much about it today.
I mean, did they? I don't know. Next time New England had the ball, huge drop by Hunter Henry on second that allows Denver to use their lone remaining timeout, get the ball back with meaningful time left. Denver from their own 49 with 48 seconds left. No timeouts. They get it to a Lutz 54-yard field goal try wide right. Then New England from their own 44. Amazingly, the first half spread was still in question on this. New England from their own 44 with 1 timeout and 20 seconds left, but May low on first down, then false start, then an incomplete deep, then May for 16. He does see the clock and slides with 1 second left. Heads up play by Drake May. Yep. Borregales, though, 63-yard field goal try would have been the second longest ever there in Denver, wide left. We go to the locker room, 7-7. Denver outgaining New England 149-72 at the half. Drake May was 7 of 14 for 41. But that fumble, or that backwards pass by Stidham, the key play. So third quarter begins. Tony Romo says, Jim, I think the game's going to come down to a play here and a play there. I then went and had to research that, and I concluded that it tracks. It would come down to a play here or a play there.
Oh, man. You know why I missed some of the backward pass stuff, Gil? Because I had this game on mute so much of it because of that.
Now, 24 degrees, feels like 12 degrees, 13-mile-per-hour winds. Here come the flurries. Flurries at first. New England, big May 28-yard gain on 3rd and 9, the Denver 45. That's a big play. Then 3rd and 10, the Denver 17, May to Henry for 9.9 yards. 4th and inches with 2 defensive players behind him. May initially ruled to have gotten it. Sean Payton challenges it. Totally didn't get it as captured by the overhead camera, but the play stands nonetheless. Oh, boy. 1st and goal at the 7. Ramondre for 5. Then trickeration fails badly as direct snap to Ramondre was bobbled. 1 yard lost, then May sacked by Jonathan Cooper. They settle for a Borregales 23-yard field goal, 10-7 Patriots with 5:29 left in the third quarter. That would be, as it would turn out, pardon me, the winning points in the game. Now the snow's increasing. 3 and out for Denver. New England, weather still worsening. 2 plays after May goes for 13, 2nd and 6 to their own 38, May to Hollins for 31. Defense holds, though. Borregales, 46-yard field goal try through the snow, wide right. Romo to Nance. This is a game. Once again, I did extensive research at that moment to find out if this, in fact, was a game. It is, in fact, a game.
Yep.
Denver. At this point, by the way, New England had out time of possessed them in the second half. 13 minutes and 10 seconds to 139. 22 total plays to 3. Denver from their own 37 run 1 play. Then the field flips to Denver having better visibility. This was a sideways blizzard, as one player called it at this point. Broadcast goes to electronically generated yard markers. How'd you feel about those?
Meh.
The white pants of the Patriots or the white pants of the Broncos and then the shirts of the Patriots, it kind of blended in with them. It was terrible.
Yeah.
3 and out after Humphrey drops a third down pass. Here comes the dome tweets from everybody. Imagine wanting every new NFL stadium to be a dome. And I responded, could you imagine knowing someone who wants that? Kelly Bidlin, everybody.
We didn't get a football game in the second half.
All right, now after May on third down with the wind swirling almost by design throws it away. Denver, after a Bryce Behringer 26-yard punt from the back of the end zone, Denver takes over at the New England 33 with 6:55 left. At the New England 33, they just need a field goal to tie it. Harvey immediately loses 3, then Stidham to Harvey, gets 1 back, 3rd and 12, next play, Stidham for 7. 4th and 5 at the New England 28 with 4:46 left. They decide they're going to kick a Lutz 45-yard field goal. Did you have a problem with that?
No.
I didn't either. Tipped by Leonard Taylor. No good. Next time Denver has the ball, 1 timeout, 2-minute warning from their own 32 with 3:05 left. Stidham to Harvey for 1, then 2nd and 10. Stidham throws deep right to Christian Gonzalez, who could have fair caught it. Only saving grace was north of the 2-minute warning, but it didn't matter. New England from their own 36, Ramondre for 4 to the 2-minute warning. 2nd down, Ramondre for nothing. Denver uses their last timeout, comes down to 3rd and 6 at their own 40. May keeps it for 7. Ball game. And the New England Patriots are headed to the Super Bowl as a franchise for the 12th time, the most ever. The next most appearances by franchises are at 8. This will be the 12th for the Patriots, as Robert Kraft improbably has the Patriots as an owner back in the Super Bowl 6 years, only 6 years after Tom Brady and only 2 years after Belichick.
It's crazy.
It's incredible. And Drake May becomes the 2nd youngest quarterback, or will be, to ever start a Super Bowl. 49 days older than Dan Marino did when he started his after the 1984 season. Coming back on a numbers game right here at VSiN.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and...
Hey, that's VSiN.com/subscribe. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin, and Kelly and I were just talking off air. We do not talk about the details of games beforehand, and you were saying off air, we are happy that neither of us saw any issues with some of these decisions, whereas we feel like, if I'll just put words in your mouth as well, we just feel like a lot of people, after the Sean Payton's an idiot for not going for a field goal. Well, yeah, in retrospect, it feels that way.
Yeah.
But in the moment, did you really feel that way? I didn't.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I think more people are being influenced by that than they're allowing themselves to admit. Because I've heard too many times too, like, I know we could go back and, like, the way it looks now, it's easy to say this, but I'm still gonna say it.
But
right. I don't know. There's been a couple of these calls this year, Gil, where I'm like, I really didn't think I was gonna be on an island as much as I feel like I am. And this is another one yesterday where I really didn't have a problem with it. There's also, you were talking about, and I got one live bet in on the under. I don't know what you did with that, but even that, like, I made that live bet shortly after that play.
I made a first half live under bet.
Okay, so same sort of thing, right? Like, I was hoping that game wasn't going to pick up and get better, like, and the weather was only going to get worse, right, from an under bet standpoint. But I didn't really expect that. I did not expect what came in the third quarter.
Who could have?
Right. I don't think those guys were, and I think you're calling a game in that moment is very different than what it was looking like late in that third quarter.
We get tweets beating the book. T-Pars, too. Woke up, saw Musetti hit it home for us against Fritz. Thank you, Gil. We will get to the Australian Open at the top of the next hour after we discuss football. Big win for Musetti. We have a lot of futures that are on the cusp now we'll talk about. Hans Gruber. Drake May has thrown for 295-plus yards in one of 20 games played this year. That was against an atrocious Baltimore D. This 3-game playoff sample seems like it might be quite insightful on him. Seahawks by alt numbers, he says. There's the first dramatic Seahawks endorsement from a tweet. Mariners Geek, on the other hand, says it's time for you guys to wave the magic wand and end the I don't trust Sam Darnold talk. He's been lights out for 2 months, 4-0 versus the Niners and Rams in this current 9-0 run. You're right. In the same way that we should end the Mario Cristobal talk in college football, I think we should end the Sam Darnold talk also. Of course, he's got one more game to mess it up.
I was going to say, you might want to leave yourself some outs there.
You have 2 weeks to determine that. Lance Schaefer put this in November 5th while listening to Gil. Also have Super Bowl 11-1. Seahawks 5-1 to win it all.
Nice.
No, to win the conference. Pardon me. Good on you. Cashed it. Nicely done, Lance. I take no credit for that, by the way. Chris Heath, holding out for the muted money line, then taking it on the Seahawks. Yeah, so this was the other thing I wanted to point out to my bet that I made. This will be the first time in 13 days. I'm sure we'll repeat this, Kelly. For whatever reason, bettors bet the Super Bowl differently, right? Casual bettors bet the Super Bowl differently. During the regular season, usually when bettors take the dog, they take the dog plus the points. For whatever reason, we don't really know why, right? But for whatever reason, when it comes to the Super Bowl, rather than taking the points with the underdog, what folks will do, maybe it's because it's the last hurrah of the NFL season, they will take the dog on the money line. This is a tried and true betting behavior that exists, and what that creates often is a muted money line on the favorite. So that's a thing. Chris Heath, the first to bring it up. The Better Life, Tim Lawson, who is going to be on the Megapod, the Vegas Lifestyle Megapod.
There we go.
The 15th annual this week. Talk about some rec better stuff. He says in a couple weeks, if the Seahawks... Oh, it's a great tweet from Tim. He says in a couple of weeks, if the Seahawks are goal to go from 1.5 yards out for the game, does Kubiak run Walker or does he dial up a clever pass? Does history influence his decision in either direction? It's such a good call. You think in his mind he'll be like, Malcolm Butler might be out there.
I mean, this would be
such a great tweet.
This would be tougher if we were still talking about Pete Carroll being there, right?
Yes.
But
totally different people.
I can't say no. Like, I can't sit here and say this will not come into play.
I agree. It's not 0%.
Like, you're going to do that to a city twice? If it came down to that? Oh, man.
We'll get to the Seahawks-Rams 3Jack H3130. Gil, each A Numbers Game show comes down to a tweet here or a tweet there. By the way, it's a balmy 19 degrees. Feels like minus 18 here in the Midwest. Have a great show. Thank you, 3Jack. Yeah, Tony Romo with the comment yesterday. Come down to a play here, play there. Everybody, if you don't have power, you're obviously not listening. But if you have power, you're listening. You're snowed in. Be safe. Be smart. Hope everybody's okay. Stay home from work. You have my permission. It's all right.
Got Gil's permission. There you go.
If it's not canceled already.
It is wild, man. Dave Ross, I know, couldn't hop on. No power out in that area today, either at his place or the casino. So, yeah, scary. Stay safe.
And Chris Thompson Auctions. I played Kalshi Markets yesterday for the first time. I thought with the weather forecast we'd have missed field goals. We would have missed field goals. Boy, did we ever. The announcers never once said, no good. What are the odds? Yes, it was a done deal that they thought I was going to miss. Okay, so let's just, before we move on to the Rams Seahawks, let's just talk about the Patriots again. In a couple ways. Again, it's the 12th trip for that franchise to the Super Bowl. They're currently 6-5 lifetime in those Super Bowls. 6, obviously, Tom Brady being 6-3 in those Super Bowls. Drake May becomes the second youngest quarterback to ever start a Super Bowl, as I mentioned. 49 days he will be older than Dan Marino when Dan Marino started for the Dolphins after the 1984 season. Will Hill made an interesting point yesterday about this football game. It was 10-7 was the final. If you take away 3 things in this game, Peyton deciding to go for it on 4th and 1, okay, right, instead of kicking a field goal, I should say, Stidham's fumble, the biggest play of the game, right, and that terrible call, which I agree was a terrible call, where the Pats were given the 4th and 1 even though they didn't get it. Mm-hmm. That game is as close to being 0-0 heading into overtime, and Kelly, they might still be playing right now.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Those 3 plays created points. Other than that, you could really have had a 0-0 game.
Yeah, you could have. I think that's what I was talking about earlier about just how both these teams were approaching things end of the first half. Like I got the vibe of like, hey, things are going to be better out here for us in the second half. Let's just get to halftime. And then like they came out after halftime, and I don't think they were prepared for that at all.
How could you have been?
Like, how could you have been? Correct.
Yeah.
Like, nobody could be. And you can always tell this stuff, right? When, like, guys can't get their feet under them. Like, you had the whole halftime to change out cleats and get all that stuff reset. And these guys just can't run.
Well, it didn't. There was no sign of it, really, at halftime. And then I sort of joked about the weather, because Kelly's one of these. He's one of these. He wants every football game to be indoors. I am not. I'm of a different generation.
Yeah.
I will sound like I'm 1,000 years old. When I went to school, I'm serious. We were mandatory full pads football at 8 years old. And then you know what we did after school? Then we played in the snow and sometimes in the ice also. Mm-hmm. The ice hurt, by the way. Mm-hmm. I just think this is a young man's thing, that they don't want outdoor football, right? It's a weird sort of generational thing. But I will concede to you, right? On the one hand, I thought the game was awesome. On the other hand, right, kind of absurd.
We didn't have a football game in the second half.
Kind of absurd.
And especially when you go and compare it to Rams Seahawks.
Both things can be true.
Yep. That's fine. It looked great on TV. It was really fun to be a part of.
I love it personally.
The weather just coming in that fast it was crazy. But then you go compare it to Rams Seahawks too. The quarterback play, like I'm gonna choose that every time. To be able to watch something like that.
I don't know. I was way more into the first game. Maybe because I had a bet on the first game. And
so did I. We both got home.
But I
had Patriots money line. You took the points. We both got home. It was boring. It was gross. It was. There was no chance of. There was little chance of the Broncos coming back in that game because of how bad the weather was.
All right. Can I say something though that's going to make the New England Patriots hate wash over me?
Sure.
Okay. Drake May, as I said, going to be the second youngest quarterback to start a Super Bowl. RG3, by the way, a rookie of the year back in 2012, said Drake May made it to the Super Bowl before Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, and Trevor Lawrence. And in fact, Drake May in the Super Bowl faced the number 5, number 1, and number 2 toughest defense in the NFL, in the Chargers, the Texans, and yesterday in the Broncos. Okay, so there's all that. That, by the way, RG3, he said, put some respect on Drake May's name. But yesterday I couldn't help but think to myself, and I'm sorry, Patriots fans, but I think it's a worthwhile thought. I thought to myself, is this the worst team that's ever made the playoffs? Ever made the Super Bowl?
I was like, whoa.
Is this the worst team that's ever made the Super Bowl? And while all of that is true, what RG3 tweeted, the reason I bring that up is because, again, according to DVOA, they have the 3rd easiest schedule this year since 1978. And in those 3 playoff games, they scored 16 points to beat a Chargers team that had no offensive line. They committed 5 turnovers but got 2 fumble luck recoveries that determined that game against the Texans. Probably should have lost that against the worst quarterback performance you'll ever see. And then yesterday in a sideways blizzard. So I asked Aaron Schatz, New England Patriots fan and DVOA tracker since 1978. It's been 120 teams, including these 2 coming up, that have been in the Super Bowl. He only tracks it to 1978. So that's 96 Super Bowl teams. He has them as 16th worst out of 96. So it's not as bad as I said, but it's pretty bad. Coming back on a numbers game.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big. We go all night. And here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
A numbers game on VSiN. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
ProfitX is the #1 place for college basketball player props. They offer all players and all schools in every state. ProfitX is available. As we get closer to March Madness, take advantage of ProfitX's 20% purchase match. Download ProfitX now and experience the future of winning. Use promo code VSiN to get started. You can also scan that QR code for more and sign up now through that. We get tweets speeding the book. Y'all are the best. Best in the game. This is from Max11089. He said, I was driving during the snowstorm this weekend listening to that episode. Talking about the Megapod with Dr. Bob. And I wanted to peek down and see if he was reading off notes, takes my eyes off the road. I was flabbergasted how unbelievably good it was. Dr. Bob with a Rembrandt of a speech on the Broncos, which was really never, it felt coasty the whole way. Even though it wasn't by the scoreboard, right? But it did feel coasty the whole way.
Oh, I think I was sweating out. Yeah, I think I was sweating the money line Patriots side of that more than the Broncos plus the points.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I didn't really felt like that side was in danger much at all.
Andy at abard0898 about the playing football indoors. He agrees. He says, this is a take for those under the age of 30. Or Kelly Bidlin, who's 39.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. E44 Teddy. Good on you, E44 Teddy. He says, mea culpa to Dr. Bob. He was a little chesty with Bob. He says, you were absolutely on point. I was wildly off. Congrats on a smooth cover. Robert at Roberts B01. Great and fun weather snow game in Denver. Can't wait for Monday's numbers game. Multiple segments to herald the virtues, the purity, and importance of playing football outdoors. I'm with you, man. I loved it. Gavin at Mr. Wiggle76. Just like you alluded to in the pod, the difference between Seattle and LA. Oh, it's a great point. Yes, we did bring this up. He said, just like you alluded to in the podcast, the difference between Seattle and LA was special teams all year. Showed up again in the biggest game of the year, and Sam Darnold shedding the moniker. All that is true. Brad Billups, multi-units on Seattle based on the opening line. New England has had the epitome of a soft schedule, both regular season and post. If not for the gift-giving quarterbacks of their postseason opponents, they'd be on the couch. Today's game cemented Stafford to be the true MVP. Oh, we got a lot of strong Seattle talk.
Let's go. I mean, this is part of the problem, though, with like I'm going to lump the outdoors game in, but it's the whole stretch we just ran through with the Patriots, right? Like you better have a strong feel for this team based off the regular season, because you haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything in the playoffs that tell me what kind of team this is.
Nope. Jeffrey S. DeVore, lifelong Broncos fan, and our family group text was going nuts that we didn't kick the field goal to go up 10-0. Backup quarterback with a great defense, and at home, Stidham was never the same after that fourth down play with the Patriots pressuring him. Well, good on you, Jeffrey. Shrek McPhee, what is the second option for Seattle? Do we really trust Darnold to dink and dunk to Kupp and Barner? Surely Gonzo travels with JSN with safety help over the top. The real Darnold will show up, Gil. Low scoring either way. Ugly, ugly game coming. Marcus Jones MVP. Marcus Jones MVP.
I do think the first part of his question, though, I think that's how I'm attacking MVP. What's the second option for Seattle?
The second option, yeah.
Which means I'm probably not going to end up on an MVP bet. Looking at current Super Bowl MVP odds, I don't think there's a bet out there.
We'll get to that here momentarily. Lance Schaefer, last one. Not kicking the field goal in the Broncos game. At that point in the game, the defense was clearly dominating. I texted the only Broncos fan I know that he should have taken the points. As stupid as this sounds, 3 points are worth more with a dominant D. Screenshot is proof. Well, the screenshot is not proof, Lance Schaefer, because you're saying after the result you said that to him. You can't do it based on the result of them not converting.
I mean, the argument is if you were able to be at home and go up 2 touchdowns on the Patriots in that moment with Jarrett Stidham,
it's Katie bar the door.
You feel very confident that you were walking out of that stadium with a win.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't have a problem with them.
Jeffrey DeVore credit, Lance Schaefer no credit on Twitter. All right, to the Rams in Seattle, who some people believe was the de facto Super Bowl.
Oh, what a game.
Seahawks win at 31-27, the trilogy. Has there ever been a better trilogy between two teams?
Honestly, I
don't know.
I didn't really look back and want to think about it, Gil, but I'm going to go no right now.
I don't think so.
It was great.
I really don't think so. This was awesome. They had split the regular season games. First time Seattle got the ball after an LA 3-and-out. 7 plays, 81 yards. Third play, 3rd and 5 at their own 24. Darnold to Shaheed for 51. 4 plays later, Walker in from 2, 7-0 Seahawks just over 5 minutes in. Then the Rams, second play, 2nd and 7 at their own 30. Stafford to Nakua for 44. They had to settle for a Mevis thicker kicker, 44-yard field goal, 7-3 Seattle. Remember, Mevis will have finished the season having missed 1 kick, field goal or extra point. Seattle then matriculates for their own 35, including 3rd and 2 at the Rams 16. Darnold to Jackson Smith and Jigba for 9. A sick one-handed catch. But they have to settle for Myers' 27-yard field goal, 10-3. Then 10-6 as they trade field goals again. Mevis with a 50-yarder. Seattle then punts after a sequence where a snap gets by Darnold on first and he falls on it, followed by Braden Fisk sacking Darnold on second. Brady impressed by Burkhart's use of fortuitous then to describe the bounce after Xavier Smith muffed the punt but landed on it. Wow, fortuitous. 12 plays, 87 yards for the Rams. Stafford to Puka for 21 on 1st and 10th, their own 35, the big one. 7 plays later, Stafford to Kyron from 9 out. 13-10 ramifications with 1:55 left in the half. And then a really strange final 1:55 where the Seahawks have a drive that takes 14 seconds off the clock. The Rams say, watch this. They take 30 seconds off the clock. So the Seahawks end up back with the ball from their own 26 with 54 seconds left. All 3 timeouts. They go 6 plays, 74 yards in 34 seconds. 3rd play, 2nd and 10 at their own 36. Darnold JSN for 42. They use the first timeout to George Halani for 13 to the 9. 2nd timeout. Then with 30 seconds left after a false start on Sundell. Incomplete behind the end zone. By the way, another sick catch by JSN out of bounds. And then a touchdown to Jackson Smith and Jigba. Somehow wide open in the end zone from 14 out. 17-13 Seahawks with 20 seconds left in the half. And then Tom Brady says, and I can't make this up, he said, I had to rewind it just to make sure he said this. He goes, they call them the 12s, Kevin, because on a scale of 1 to 10, they're as loud as a 12. Tom, that's not why they call him a 12, man. Oh, my God. Darnold had thrown for 209 yards in the first half. Smith and Jigba, 7 for 115.
It was a clinic on dicing up zone coverage. It was incredible.
17-13 Seahawks. We go to the third quarter. Seattle punts, but Xavier Smith, who had muffed one earlier, but had recovered on a fortuitous bounce, fell down this time, trying to catch it, muffs it. Recovered by Derrick Young at the Rams 17. 1 play. Darnold to Jake Bobo for 17. 24-13 Seahawks with 12:02 left in the third. Kevin Burkhart's so happy that it was Jake Bobo, you'd think Dom showed up on the sideline.
It was his 4th catch of the year?
Oh, my God. Relax, Kevin. It's not Dom. Rams respond immediately. 4 plays, 75 yards. Stafford to Parkinson for 40 to start. 2 plays later, a dime to Devontae for 29. Then to Devontae from 2 out, 24-20. Seattle with 9:41 left in the third. Seattle responds. 9 plays, 65 yards. Could have been 3 and out, but Darnold to Cup for 12 on 3rd and 9. 6 plays later, Darnold to Cup from 13 out. 31-20 Seahawks with 4:52 left in the third. And the Rams then, after an illegal block on the kickoff return, they start at their own 13. Stafford to Devontae for 35 to start, but eventually stopped. 4th and 12 at the Seattle 49. Stafford's running off the field. Rams going to punt. But a late flag on Reek Woolen for taunting the Rams bench extends the drive. Very next play, Stafford to Nacua from 34 out. Touchdown, 31-27. 2:06 left in the third quarter. Did you want the Rams to have tried for 2 on one of these to cut it to 3?
I thought about it quickly.
I did too.
Not really.
I thought about it both times. I didn't like hate it.
Yeah.
But I thought about it both times.
I thought about it. There was no part of me, though, that thought the scoring was going to be done with in this game.
By the way, I will just say this about Reek Woolen, too. Like, at this point, he could be the old school GOAT, meaning a bad GOAT, if they lose, if the Seahawks lose this. And the ref, by the way.
I thought they were going to.
There was no way they couldn't have called that.
Right.
Because the ref warned him, and he kept doing it.
Yeah.
Rams now down 4 with the ball from their own 10. Corum for 11. Stafford to Corum for 15. Stafford to Kyron for 13 after some nifty moves. 2 plays later, Stafford to Parkinson for 16. To Corum for 2. To Corum for 7. Then 3rd and 1, Parkinson straight drops a pass, which means it's 4th and 1 at the Seattle 26. But Stafford slips through to Marcus Lawrence, spins for 3, gets the first down. Then offside, shovel to Nacua for 6 on a broken play. First down. To Nacua for another 6 to the 6. Kyron for 0, then 3rd and 4 at the 6, incomplete intended for Kanata Mumfield in the end zone, broken up by Witherspoon. Then 4th and 4. Do you kick the field goal here, Kelly, or do you go for it? I had no problem with him going for it.
I have no problem.
I didn't either. Incomplete intended for Terrence Ferguson in the end zone, broken up by Witherspoon again. Seattle clinging to the 4-point lead from their own 6 with 4:54 left. Second play, 2nd and 6 at their own 10. Darnold to Walker for 15 after a couple of great moves. Then Walker for 2. Rams use the first timeout with 3:26 left. Then Darnold throws it out of bounds to an open Shaheed, gets shoved, but I guess the officials ruled it was uncatchable. 3rd and 8 at their own 27 with 3:20 left. This is the play. Darnold to Kupp, right at the sticks, extends the ball, ruled a first down. McVay decides not to challenge, but he uses his second timeout. Should have challenged it, shouldn't he have?
Yeah.
Could have been just short. By the way, I don't want to hear anybody say it wasn't a catch. It was a catch. He caught it and then made a move. First down, Walker, no gain. Rams use their last timeout. Then Darnold to JSN for 14. In essence, the kill shot. First down, but out of bounds at their own 41 with 3 minutes left. Walker for 3. Then Seattle shockingly throws. Hold on Durant with Kupp, versus Kupp, I should say. New set of downs with 2:12 left. Walker for 6 into the 2-minute warning. Then Walker 3-yard loss. Seattle calls timeout. Darnold sacked. But LA pinned at their own 7 with 25 seconds left. Stafford to Nakua for 23. Then he spikes it with 10 seconds. They need an out pattern and a Hail Mary to Nakua, but tackled in bounds. Ball game, and the Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
You know what? I'm going to blame Andy Reid for cronyism because Matt Nagy stinks. A guy like Jefferson, you got to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem, and he's been part of the problem.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on the Numbers Game, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin, my little buddy alongside. We get tweets, beating the book. Y'all look great.
Great tweets this morning.
Oh, it's fantastic. NC I-95 Gambler. I call this the Gilly Ice special. Please don't laugh at the bet size. I would never laugh at your bet size. He had the Broncos plus 5.5, which I did as well. He also had the Patriots to win the AFC Championship at 13-1. There you go.
The red in the middle.
I can't take any credit for the Patriots one, that's for sure. Jeff Levine. Boys, was it analytics or testosterone that drove Peyton to pass 3 points early? BS on it was okay. I'm not sure what that means. You're playing versus rookie quarterback, and you have a good D and could have a 2-score lead. Take it. And I said it then. All right, I believe you, Jeff. Jeff then adds, plus you just laid out the stats that say that you take points you can anytime you can. I did? I don't believe I did. E44 Teddy. I don't care much for DVOA, but it would be amusing. Oh, he's right about this. It would be amusing if this ends with 2025 Patriots winning the Super Bowl when the 2007 Patriots didn't. It's a great call, right? 2007 Patriots, either the best or the second best team of all time. 2025 Patriots, as Aaron said earlier, maybe like the 16th worst team to ever make the Super Bowl since 1978 out of 96 teams. Jason H11. Gilly, I agree. The weather is an equalizer that forces teams to adapt and change. Coaching and strategy is even more important. If Peyton had someone to update him on the weather, he would have kicked the field goal, and who knows? Our generation is smarter. Well, that part for sure.
I mean, like, he does, though, right? Like, there are people that are working on this. It just escalated that quickly.
It's, as Will Ferrell said in Anchorman. Well, that escalated quickly.
Right.
Brendan S. The most egregious thing Tony Romo said yesterday was suggesting Stidham should have slid on 3rd and 4 before the missed Lutz field goal. He ran out of bounds for a loss, and Tony suggested sliding while Denver had no timeouts. Incredible. I had to rewind it twice. Oh, I missed that. I didn't hear him say that. iHeart SEC Podcast took Shaheed at 165-1 2 weeks ago, feeling like I got a real chance to get home. I assume he's talking about Super Bowl MVP. See what happens, Larry says. This year's Bears-Packers would definitely be 1B to Seattle-Los Angeles 1A. I think you're right about that in terms of great trilogies.
It's great.
John Burgo, as a fellow Broncos ticket holder at +5 and 4, I was more worried about them tying it and then both teams being reluctant to try field goals as the weather continued to deteriorate. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Longest NFL game of all time was 1971 playoff game, Chiefs and Dolphins, I believe it was, which went to multiple overtimes. This one had the feel that it could have given that a run for the money. Tom K., are we sure we haven't learned something from Patriots playoffs? May's play had dropped dramatically in the playoffs, first time facing better Ds, and May has at best been average in all 3 games. For sure. For sure. Paul M., can the NFL please have the ability to buzz down to the refs and tell them about a call they missed? The face mask call they missed on Stafford in the second quarter was horrendous and would have had the Rams 1st and goal. Brutal. I think this next one we haven't gotten to it yet.
I caught that one. There was a couple. There were definitely a couple misses yesterday.
Great Salami Gator. Hey, Gil, always watch the show. Snowed in bad here in Tennessee. By the way, had you told me that out of these 2018 quarterback draft picks, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, and Sam Darnold, that Darnold would be the first to reach the Super Bowl, I'd call you crazy. Yeah, and Drake may beat them all too. But I know he's not a 2018. I understand your point about the 2018 draft. Kevin Ryan. Gil, am I the only one that thinks JSN slightly bobbled the ball on the one-handed catch when he was going out of bounds? Because this rule is so concrete, I guess a slight bobble is okay if you make the catch with one hand. I thought he had it.
It was tight. I went back and watched it a couple times, too. It was tight.
More go at You Like to Gamble. This is the real thing. We talked about the Sean McVay with 3:20 left, the Cooper Kupp catch. He doesn't challenge it. Instead, he calls a timeout. In retrospect, he absolutely should have just challenged it out of principle, just in case. I think what he thought was that he was going to call a timeout because he had to stop the clock, right? That was submission number 1. And that the replay assist was going to come in and help him out with the review. I'm guessing that's what he thought.
I think you're right because, man, it's just bizarre to see Sean McVay kind of out of sorts in that situation. And it was like, I didn't know that they were doing a great job of the officials explaining it to the sidelines and then for the booth picking it up. It was a lot of confusion there.
Yeah, he is providing something that said, the fan social media and analysts criticized the decision as terrible game management. Reports suggested McVay appeared to ask officials why not after realizing he could not challenge, implying he wanted to review the play but used the wrong mechanism. So in other words, by calling timeout, he was then not allowed to then challenge it afterwards.
Well, that's interesting because they made it sound like on the broadcast he decided not to challenge
That's
it.
correct. Yes. Either way, it was a botch. And there you go. By the way, I don't know that I don't think it would have been reversed. My opinion.
So either.
I think they would have given Cooper Kupp. By the way, give Cooper Kupp credit. He's extending the football.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it probably holds, but who knows?
It was a heck of a play, and it was damn close, but I'm with you. I think it stands still.
Here are the odds to win the Super Bowl MVP. Sam Darnold remains the short shot, as he was before this past weekend. He's plus 130. Drake May is plus 235. That makes all the sense in the world. They are, this just in, the quarterbacks of both teams. Then it's JSN at plus 550. Kenneth Walker of the Seahawks is at 6-1. Then you finally get a second Patriot besides May, which is Ramondre Stevenson at 25-1. The aforementioned Rashid Shaheed now still at 28-1. Everybody else you see on the page there. So what did you land on this? Because for me, this becomes narrative-based, right?
Yeah.
The Sam Darnold story is so awesome that somebody's going to have to just, if the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, somebody else on that team, whether it's Jackson Smith-Njigba, whether it's Kenneth Walker, whether it's Rashid Shaheed, whoever it is, has got to do something so ridiculously better than Sam Darnold because all things being equal, or maybe not quite even equal, Sam Darnold's getting the MVP. This story is just beyond. People have ridiculed this dude for years.
Yeah.
And here we are.
You're probably right at this point. I want to say if JSN was kind of the one and only guy, once again for this team, racking up big numbers, that there could be a good case made for him. But you're right, in the Super Bowl, when you're going to, the Darnold story is going to come into play, you're probably right. I mean, JSN's the one we all want to bet, right? Like, I want to bet JSN, but I can't do that at plus 550.
No, it's not good enough.
Not nearly good. And Kenneth Walker, 6-1.
Do you have a Shaheed ticket or no?
No, I do not. No,
By the way, both our guys, Mims and Shaheed, who we pointed out in our most receiving yards yesterday, had two huge plays.
Oh, I took Shaheed. It was the sprinkle on most rushing yards. He had 100-1.
I did Mims on the receiving yards. I didn't bet it, but I was talking about that prop last week. Thought that after that first play, we were in good shape.
I mean, the Shaheed stuff for anybody. I was talking to Danny with it off the air, but I had the rushing prop of over a half yard. Did you catch the one time when Shaheed got a carry? It was on an end around, and you're like, oh, right there it is, turn upfield, and he just kind of did like the wimpy wide receiver run out of bounds. Like, it's not worth trying to get 1 yard here. Let me just go out.
I mentioned it was the 12th time the Patriots franchise is going to the Super Bowl. It'll be the 4th for the Seahawks. They're 1-2. The Rams outgained the Seahawks yesterday 479-396. And about Darnold. Darnold, if they win the Super Bowl, he will have amassed $2.5 million in incentives.
Wow.
For the playoff run. He got $500,000.
That probably shouldn't surprise me as much as it does.
Here's all his incentive. $500,000 in the regular season for topping 4,000 yards. $500,000 for having a completion percentage greater than 67.5%. He just clipped that at 67.7% this year. He also made $500,000 by helping the Seahawks finish the season in the top 10 in total offense, 8th. Then he got $500,000 when they clinched a playoff berth, and he's added $500,000 for each playoff win.
Damn.
Including yesterday. So
stack it up, Sammy.
2.5 for the playoff run. I'm not sure how that breaks down. And that, by the way, that's addition to, do you know these players for advancing, they get this like stipend. They get
a little bonus.
They get a little bonus for all this. You know what it is? I looked this up because the reason I looked it up is because before the Super Bowl that followed the 1982 season, so the Super Bowl 17, which is the first one the Skins won, that's why I remember it. Joe Theismann, when they're huddled up before the game, right before they're about to take the field, to his teammates, right, a rah-rah speech, goes, and it's for $70,000 and a big fat ring. It's on NFL Films. I'm serious. $70,000 back then was just a monster amount of money. You know what they get now?
I have no idea. I love this stuff too.
$178,000 each player gets, and the loser gets $103,000.
That doesn't really seem to have kept up with the times.
It's just, and the players could not care less. They're like, yeah, sure, $100,000. Whatever. Big deal. Anyway, so Sam, do you have a bet in the MVP market?
No, nothing. I don't know. Honestly, I looking at that board, I don't think I'm going to land on anything, Gil. I think you're going to hear some Shaheed love this week.
Yeah.
It takes, look, he got involved in the offense in a very scripted way, like 3 times yesterday. So you have to count on one of those home run shots working out. I don't know that I'd really go there. I want to bet JSN.
Nothing draws me in here.
Who's the other Patriot? If you're not going Drake May, who else are you betting on the Patriots? It probably is Stevenson.
I mean, the Drake May story will be unbelievable, too. It's incredible.